Hello and welcome to this special Christmas episode. First of all, I have to admit that I've changed my plans a bit. This episode was supposed to be the last of the USS FREEDOM series, but I decided to divide it into two. Today I'm gonna finish the construction of the ship, and in the next, this time for sure the last episode, I'm gonna build a diorama. At the beginning, I've pasted the antennas. Frankly speaking, I almost forgot about it. They camouflaged very well on the sprue and almost left out. The antennas are glued in, so let's go to the spray booth. I put a layer of clear gloss varnish, mainly on the parts where the decals will be applied. Under decals, you should have a very smooth and even surface. It means the least porous, so gloss varnish, which reflects light better than a matte or semi-matte varnish, is the best for this purpose. There are only a few decals in this particular model. After cutting them out, I've started to place them on the ship using microscale liquids. Decals didn't cause any major problems. I was slightly afraid of sticking the largest one, which are the lines on the landing deck. For a moment I even wondered whether it will be better to split it into smaller parts. But you know, as they say, no risk, no fun. After all, I could always paint these lines. By the way, in such cases, it's asking for to include in the set a template for masking the landing deck and painting these lines. After fighting with decals, I abandoned the FREEDOM construction and started with a new model, namely two models, the unmanned drone and the SH-60 Seahawk helicopter. The drone is really small, it consists of several elements, both plastic and photo-etched. What is worth praising and emphasizing, in the set we have a specially profiled piece of plastic on which we can bend the drone skids in a fairly simple way. I decided that the helicopter on one side would have the door open. Using a Proxon rotary tool, I drilled into the interior and then cut the appropriate shape with a hobby knife. After cutting the hole, I smoothed its edges, gently dissolving them with extra thin glue. There is still a door to be added to the helicopter. I cut out an unnecessary element from the plastic frame and sanded it properly. After placing decals, I covered the whole ship with a semi-matte varnish and painted the helicopter and the door with a clear blue. I've masked all the windows thoroughly and started pasting the rest of the Seahawk elements. I glued the rotor with a cyanoacrylate glue. I've painted the prepared elements with a white primer. And then with Mr. Color Neutral Gray. I've also painted the drone tail rotor with white before cutting it from the sprue. And while it was drying, I took care of decals. After applying them to these enormous machines, I took care of naval ensign. I pasted one half on a piece of aluminum foil, cut it carefully, and then glued the other part. Accurately placed decals make the foil invisible, and thanks to its use we have a lot of freedom in shaping the flag. Yes, helicopters flies much better with rotors installed, however I still had one more to install. After masking the small rotors, I've painted them red, and after cutting them out of the sprue, I've pasted them on the drone's tail. Let's move on to weathering. On the whole ship I used AK washes and dark grey Tamiya wash, standard rust pigment and white spirit. I wasn't going to overdo the weathering, I wanted to get the effect of a slightly exploited unit. Only in the bow I decided to use a darker wash and make the deck more dirty. Ultimately, I don't know if it was a good decision. When it comes to weathering, I still have a lot to learn, but nowadays knowledge is at your fingertips, so I will definitely try to improve in this aspect. I've painted small details on the drone and helicopter with a black liner and put a little wash on them. After the weathering, I covered all models with a semi-matte varnish. Last step, rigging. There are only a few lines to install in this model. Unfortunately, I accidentally recorded only the main mast flag line. The US naval ensign was hoisted, finishing the construction of our LCS. I consider the model complete. As always, there are elements that I am very happy with and some that I would definitely improve. It doesn't change the fact that I had a great time building it. I'm glad that my wife persuaded me, and thanks to this the ship gained an unique and rare camouflage. The oil canning effect is also not too bad. Please write what do you think about this unit. I will be happy to read and analyze any comments and suggestions. I also invite you to subscribe to my channel if you are not doing it yet. Each subscription means a lot to me and gives me a lot of motivation to create new materials. As I announced, in the next episode I'm gonna build a diorama, but it's only in a year. Meanwhile, I hope that you spent a nice Christmas and despite this strange year for all of us, you have someone to smile and hug. I wish you all Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, so that it will be more normal than the passing one. And of course, a lot of beautiful scale models on your desk. Hang on and see you soon, guys. Bye.